Hey, Steve here with webstarts.com. And in this video, I'm going to show you what it takes to move an existing website from your standard account to your WebStarts designer platform. If you've been using WebStarts for any amount of time prior to becoming a designer, chances are you have websites in your account that you'd like to move and then manage in your designer platform. And while the process to do so is relatively easy, there are some important steps to follow to make sure everything goes smooth. And as always, if you find the video helpful, be sure to give it a like and then make sure to subscribe to the channel because we have a ton of these videos that really show you how to do everything from building a website, setting up a store, basically everything you need to create and manage a web presence. We cover it on our YouTube channel, so check that out. All right, let's get to it. This is the website I'm going to move. So step one is I'm going to jump into my designer platform and I'm going to create a template of that website so I can use it when creating a new client. We'll go ahead and click the Templates tab, scroll down, and then click the Build a Template button. Now I'm going to give it a title. And this is going to be used for internal purposes only, something that I can look and recognize, go, oh, that's my old website, etc. Whatever I want to name it, just make sure you can identify it. So I'm going to name it Old RV Site. Then jump down to Site to Copy. Now this is the site title for that website. I'm going to choose that. Now you will have to choose a category. It won't really matter what you choose because this won't be a front-facing template. This is going to be for your own use. So I'm just going to choose the first option here, business. And here's why that won't matter. For public, I'm going to choose no. I don't want anybody to be able to reuse one of my old websites, one of my own personal websites or a client's website for their own site. If I was to choose public, then this would be available to anybody using WebStarts. So you want to make sure you choose no and then click the create button. And now this process may take a little bit of time. All really depends on how large the website is, how many pages, how many images, etc., because it's got to compile that folder that the website resides in. And once created, that dialog box goes away. I'll click the next button. And you can see that new template right here. Now, before I move on and create the new website using this template, I'm going to go ahead and preview it to make sure that everything's intact. I want to make sure that all of my content's there, all of my images. It should be an exact replica, but this is just an added step that I'm going to go ahead and go through. Go ahead and click through the pages. You can see the page names are all the same. And once you're sure everything looks good, you go ahead and close that out. And our next step is going to be to create the client. Go ahead and click the Clients tab, scroll down, and then click Add New Client. Now, a couple things to keep in mind as you're creating this new client, choosing a first and last name. If it's your website and it's not necessarily for a client, you can just use your own name. You can replicate that time and time again as you create new clients. That's not really an issue. What will need to be different, however, is the email address. You wouldn't be able to use the primary email address that you're using for your primary account because what you're basically doing is creating another account within your account. As a designer, you can allow your clients to log in to manage their own website. So you'd need to use a separate email address and a website title. So let's go ahead and add a name. Now for my clients, a lot of times what I will do is I will add the first and last name to denote the type of website it is. So RV rental site. Now for the email address, you'll ideally want to use the client's own email so they can log in and manage their own website should you choose to allow that. But for this example, I'm going to use a little trick that most email providers allow, and that is to add a plus sign with the addition of some characters that associate with whatever that email is used for. For example, I'm going to go ahead and use the general support email for WebStarts, but I'm going to add a plus RV rental site at webstarts.com. And this email will actually work. It'll go right to the support box should anybody choose to email to it. So it works just like support at webstarts.com, but is viewed as a separate email address. Comes in handy quite a bit. Now for the site title, if you remember, the site title was RVs Are Us or something like that. I don't exactly recall what it was, but I'm just going to put a dash new here because again, it has to be different. It has to be its own website title, and it has to be able to be viewed independently of that old website. So this new site title will allow for that. And I'm going to click next. Now from here, of course, we're going to start with a template because we're using the template we just created. So we'll click that option and we'll scroll down here and make sure to click the My Templates tab. Now it's going to take a minute to generate the thumbnail for the website, which is most likely going to be this one here. So we'll give that a second. And there we go. Now, again, we can preview this and you'll notice it's got the same template ID. So it's definitely the same template, but you can scroll through here. You can click around. You can make sure that everything's good once again before choosing it. Once you're happy with it, go ahead and click the select button. Now, once created, you can see the new client here, RV rental site. You can see the new email address, the new site URL. Before I move forward, we're going to go ahead and view the site and just click through that, make sure everything's intact. Once you're happy with that, the next step would be to move the domain name. Before you can move that domain name, got to make sure that you contact the support team and make sure that the billing is moved over for the new site. This site that's created under this client would have been created as a free client. Now, the old website was a paid site, so you'll need to have that billing moved over so you can move that domain name over. No issue really, just contact support@webstars.com, let them know you've moved your site over, provide the new link, and they'll get that done for you. Once done, you can then move your domain name. We'll go through that now. Jump up to the Domains tab and click on that. Locate your domain name on the left-hand side and click the edit icon. For this example, we're going to go ahead and move floridacampers.net. Once the domain management panel loads up, go ahead and click the Point to Site dropdown and then choose the new site. Here it is, RVs Are Us New. Once selected, go down to the Save button and click Save. And then click OK. Let's go ahead and scroll back up. And let's go ahead and go back to our primary dashboard. We'll review all sites, and you can see that this website no longer has a domain name associated with it because it has been moved to my designer platform. Let's go ahead and click the designer platform and view the clients. Scroll down to that new site, new client rather, and you can see that the domain name is associated with that. Now keep in mind, moving the domain name is instant, but the domain may take a few minutes to resolve to this new website. So give that a few seconds before you start moving anything or changing anything or especially terminating that old website because that domain could still be displaying that old website. That's about all there is to it in terms of moving your website from your primary account to your designer dashboard, with the primary benefit, of course, being that it now can be edited and managed by your client, where it could not have before in your primary account. And as always, thank you again for using WebStarts, and we'll see you on the next video.